Today we're talking about problems. If you want to achieve literally anything, you've got to solve problems quickly. But don't worry, I'm not here to overload you with a list of tips. Instead, I'm about to share a proven framework for problem solving that anyone can use to get results. But these aren't just any strategies. They're the secrets top consultants use to solve problems for the biggest companies in the world. All I did was copy their exact strategy. Now I'm just giving it to you, and I guarantee that if you follow every step, you'll tackle any problem with ease. Alright, step number 1 is the most overlooked part of problem solving. If you don't get this right, you'll never find a solution. In fact, this is where experts spend 90% of their time: problem identification. Before creating any sort of plan, you have to fully understand the problem. So I'll show you a strategy that will test what you really know about the problem and uncover the root cause. This strategy is the 5 orders of ignorance. There is one single thing that's costing you time and money every single day: ignorance debt. How can you climb up the levels of ignorance to gain the knowledge you need? Let's start at order 0, meta ignorance. This is the stage where nothing makes sense. Sometimes the only thing you know is you're not getting the results you want. So what's the fastest way out? Over communication. If you're working with a team, talk through everything you know. Putting your thoughts together can spark insights and reveal hidden problems you may be overlooking. If you're working alone, find someone to share your thought process with. Their unbiased perspective can expose blind spots you didn't realize you had. Now, after you've done that, you've stepped into order number 1, lack of process. Now, you understand there's a problem, but you don't yet have a method to solve it. This is where you're going to start seeking advice and building a system to find a process. A process is simply a set of repeatable actions designed to get you a specific result. Think of it like walking into a dark room. You flip the light switch on without even thinking about it because you want to see. Here's exactly what you're gonna do. Learn from someone who's already faced this problem before. Ideally, someone that you could talk to one-on-one. If that's not an option, the internet is your next best choice. Hearing from someone who has already gone through this will give you a glimpse into what solution or actions they took. Even if their problem wasn't identical to yours, studying their methods gives you a roadmap to follow. And that moves you into order number 2, lack of awareness. So far, you've already made solid progress. You identified there's a problem and you talked to someone who's already been through this. But now comes the real challenge: figuring out what is the best solution. Thankfully, there's a proven method for this known as mind mapping. This structured brainstorming technique helps sharpen your awareness and break down complex problems. Here's how it works. First, write down the central problem. This keeps everything focused on the core issue. Next, start asking questions about the problem. For each question, create a separate box branching out from the center. Then just keep expanding. Ask questions about your questions to build layers of insight. Eventually, you'll have a full chart of interconnected ideas, exposing flaws and gaps you haven't considered yet. We'll dive deeper into how to answer these questions and turn them into actionable solutions later. For now, you're going to move into order number 3, lack of knowledge. Now, this order is all about forming a hypothesis for why your problem occurred. So your mind map has likely uncovered areas that need further exploration. This is because there's a gap in your knowledge base right now. But now it's time to hypothesize. Start by asking, why did this happen? And then think of all potential causes. Form a theory based on your insights, experience, or initial research, but keep it flexible. Hypotheses are meant to evolve as you uncover more information. Once again, reach out to others who have already been through this issue before. Share your theory and let them assess it. They'll most likely offer feedback and let you know if this is the most effective approach. If you have no one to talk to, then send it over to an AI like ChatGPT or Claude. They are going to provide unbiased feedback too. Building and refining your strong hypothesis moves you into the final stage of the 5 orders of ignorance. You are now equipped with the knowledge to attack your problem head on. Order number 4, lack of ignorance. Here you've identified the problem, understand it deeply, and have the knowledge to address it directly. You're no longer in the dark. You or your team are now equipped to organize your findings. I'm going to give you a few powerful strategies to turn these findings into an actionable solution. So let's move on to step number 2, organize. This step is all about leveraging your knowledge of the problem through structured organization. I'm going to share with you 2 powerful strategies to help you do just that. Number 1 is a MECE framework, and number 2 is a decision matrix. Let's look at number 1 first. Now, MECE stands for mutually exclusive, collectively exhaustive. But you could just think of MECE like sorting a box of Lego bricks. To make it mutually exclusive, you'll separate them by color, making sure every brick only goes into one group. To make it collectively exhausting, you sort every single brick, making sure none are left out. By the end, everything is categorized, nothing's missing, and nothing overlaps. Now, you're going to apply this to problem solving. Using the questions from your mind map, you're going to create structured buckets. You can think of them just like sorting the colors of the Lego bricks, except each one is going to address a key area of the problem. But here's the rule: each bucket must be MECE to keep your analysis airtight. Let me just show you how this works with a real business problem. Let's look at the question of why aren't we getting enough customers? Our first bucket is going to be exploring acquisition channels. Here, once again, we're going to ask questions. How are we getting customers? How's our referral system working? Then our next bucket will be looking at our product. Again, we'll ask questions. What are we selling? Is it trending or is it niche? For each bucket, you ask these questions and then gather the information to answer them. Use data, expert opinions, or past experiences. Anything that fills the gap of knowledge that you now lack. work. From there, you're gonna spot the patterns. In my example, maybe the product isn't trendy enough. This would explain the lack of customers and poor marketing. You should be able to find a pattern in the key areas of the problem you're facing. This will identify the true root problem and allow you to figure out the best solution to deal with it. And to evaluate solutions, you're gonna need to use a decision matrix. Now, once again, this is best shown through an example. Let's look at how I would choose the best productivity app. The first thing I need to do is figure out the criteria. Now, these are just things I find important when choosing a productivity app. After that, I will draw out 3 different columns and fill each with a different criteria. In my example, it's gonna be cost, features, and ease of use. Then each criteria needs to be assigned a weight depending on how important it is for your decision. The more important, the higher the number. I'll show you exactly why in a minute. Then in each row, you're gonna put your different decisions. So for me, it'd be app A, B, and C. Then you go through and rate each option on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. Once you finish rating every single category, I'm gonna show you where weight comes in. You're gonna multiply each score by its assigned weight to account for the importance of each criteria. Finally, you total everything up and reveal which option was truly the best. This will help you figure out which solution aligns best with the goals. By organizing your problem with MECE and evaluating your solutions with the decision matrix, you build a methodical, efficient approach to problem solving. But now it's time we cover some strategies to implement your newly chosen solution. Step 3, implement. To create an actionable plan, start with an issue tree. This will break your long-term plan into smaller, manageable steps, ensuring steady progress without feeling overwhelmed. Here's how it works. First, you're going to start with the big picture. Draw a big box on the left with your desired solution. Then you will need to branch out. Identify key areas that are necessary for your solution and build a box for each to the right. After that, you will need to break it down further. Continue branching out to the right until you get to very small details. Then you will create milestones by turning these small details into actionable steps. Assign them realistic deadlines so you know you can continuously make progress. Last, if you're working with the team, you're going to delegate. Assign roles based on your team's strengths to ensure the tasks are manageable and efficient. The issue tree structure keeps things clear, achievable, and allows for consistent progress towards the ultimate goal. But you still need to test your solution on a small scale before rolling out a full implementation. Here are some ways you can do this. Number 1, you can run a pilot test. Run your solution with a small sample or a limited area. Use your issue tree as a guidance for what key areas and metrics need to be met for it to be considered a success. Then measure those results and compare them with the other strategies I'm about to show you now. 2, you could build a prototype. Create a simplified version of the solution and see if it functions in the real world as expected. 3, you can run a simulation. Use mock scenarios or simulations to test the solution in different environments. After testing, adjust based on the feedback and results before moving on to a full-scale implementation. Be prepared for initial setbacks, but they'll level out as you get more adjusted to the new process. Implementation is never going to be a linear progress. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs and a whole period of chaos. But eventually you're going to have the transforming idea that makes the new process simpler, more efficient, and easier for everyone to use. And from there, the new status quo will be much higher than anything you had before, allowing for your solution to the problem to become the new standard and the more efficient way to do things. But now you know all the secrets top consultants use to solve the biggest problems in the entire world. If you just follow this same step-by-step formula every single time, it doesn't matter the kind of problems you face. You're going to knock them out of the park. And if you're looking for ways to solve problems in your daily life, I just dropped a simple productivity system that anyone can use. Go check that video out now.